G'day guys, Can't Find the Sky here, and welcome to episode 9 on my Let's Play. So, here we are at my starter base, which is definitely finished. Oops. But we'll get to that another time. So, I've been away, I've been going insane. I went on holiday, I got unwell, and I come back, and I just cannot deal. Whoops. And I just cannot deal with my storage system. Like, what is this? There's just like nothing. What, 10 double chests or something stupid like that? It's ridiculous. I can't live like this. It's not automated and there's just no room to store anything. We're going to fix that. After losing 100 levels. 100 levels! Whatever. Okay, that... Oh. What have I done? But anyway, let's just fix the storage first. So, last episode I built this area, which was a whole lot of different things, but we've got our... I don't really want to break anything actually. I jump down over here, but we can see our shulker sorter and unloader, so it determines if there's anything in the shulker boxes and then empties them out. Items go up that way, shulkers go back up into this storage system down here, and this is going to be our bulk storage. So I've got some stone and cobblestone, and this is where all of those items, iron and gunpowder, are all going to go. And our input for shulker boxes on that yellow carpet as well. But what we need is more storage. And you can sort of see those outlines, because if I take a step back and bam, we can see our new storage system. And I spent a good amount of time making sure I was nice and happy with what my design was, and sort of moving stuff around. We can sort of see it hiding behind there, but it's a design by Maizuma games, which I'll link in the description. But I've basically taken his design, taken the bits and pieces, and connected it all up and moved it so that from the inside, which I can't really stay in, everything looks nice. And I'm going to miss, and we're now falling. Whoops. Confusing myself aside and falling down. Yeah, we've got a lot of work to do to build this in, so I might do it in a couple of stages so that I can just show you guys the different components that Maizuma made and designed, and how I've sort of arranged them to make myself happy with how pretty it all looks, because I'm trying to get better at decorating stuff, but we'll have to see. And you guys need to let me know what you think, if you think this is all starting to look quite nice, because I'm pretty happy with everything. I need to do a little bit more designing as well for this area, but I've got all of the storage is going to be hiding everything and hopefully working effectively. So time for a time lapse, and let's jump right into it. So far, I've rerouted my water streams so that it can head out in the right direction. Let's see if we can get up on top. Here we go. So, water stream coming up, coming around, passing over our bulk storage, and then heading out towards here at the moment we've just got some roses from our iron farm down there coming up and not quite going through because at the moment there's nowhere for it to go, but this is now passing over a bit more storage and also into the, can't remember what he calls, thank you, scaffolding. Can't quite remember, I think this is the loader or the brain or the computer or something Maizuma calls it, but basically this is where, if we can crawl our way through here, but the items come down into this input chest, which then sends this minecart through once it takes a full stack and heads off, and I've sent it up this way, so green going in and red coming back out once it gets here, then sending it off into the storage, which currently does not exist. So I've built my path out. I need to next go through and add in all of these chests and droppers and hoppers and all of the things, but we can do that nice and quick. Ready? Another time lapse. So things are starting to take shape. We can actually see the whole storage system now, which is pretty good. And this is much more chests than I had over at my starter base, which is going to be excellent. I haven't done any of the filtering items yet, so that's going to be a big job, but we'll get there once we make it all look nice and pretty. But just to sort of explain what Maizuma's design is, so we have our loading brain basically that puts the items into the chest, one stack of items at a time, and it'll come along and it'll run over these filter systems, which are ingenious really. Like, it's just so simple, but pretty much it runs through the green, goes under, and in here it can only pull out one item, so it runs along as a hopper minecart until eventually it pulls out the one item from whichever chest we put it in. That makes its way back around, and I've got these little shortcut systems after every sort of segment, and then once it comes back, whichever one it drops the item in, it'll actually trigger these hoppers, and that'll actually unlock the hopper below this sort of hopper chain here, and all the items then, once the minecart gets back over here, I think it's under here, the items run along until they hit whichever comparator on this side. I got a bit confused there. Whichever one on this side is unlocking, because currently there's nothing in anything, none of the hoppers are locked, but whichever one's unlocked, they'll run along and then they'll just filter down into the storage system, and then once that's done, reload and it resets as it runs underneath. It is just such a simple system, and because you're using minecarts, you can sort of send them off in whatever direction you like and move around stuff. I like it. I just think it's so great because it means I can then work around my minecart systems around, not getting in the way of the building, which once we go through another time lapse, you'll see that all this redstone is going to disappear. We're not going to be able to see it. So it's just such a wonderful system, and this is, I think, the third or fourth time I've used it, so I just love it. And I've got a lot of work to do to get all the items so that we can filter everything, but I've brought with me tons of emeralds, and I got a few anvils, so no short of iron with the iron farm, so it shouldn't be too bad. I'm kind of sad though that I'm only on 19 levels when I did have about 96. But you heard me. We're going to one last time lapse, and let's make this place look a little nicer. And as much as I love all the redstone, let's make it disappear. Okay, so here we are. We've got the whole area finally finished. I might grab some bone meal to get some flowers and tall grass on each of these four corners, but we've got coral of all different colours and shapes and orientations in 3 of the pools. This one's a little bit more of a rock pool because I haven't quite built down the same sort of, I guess, little waterfalls that we're going to do, but you get the idea of how it's all going to look. Over here, I haven't quite decided if I want to have a non-shulker box loading system. So basically a system where I can throw items in a chest and send it off. I will have a system that'll run through the whole base eventually using a chest minecart that I've designed, but I haven't decided if I'm going to do that or maybe I'll do sort of a crafting corner, because I don't actually have anywhere for an ender chest. Like, this one's just sort of sitting here, and then there's the one. I've put in one actual ender chest into my build so far, which is not the most useful, so got to make sure I've got access to ender chests everywhere, and we might get rid of this. But I've got 8 shulker boxes here, all with different items inside, which we're going to lay out. And I've been through, filled in all of the filter ingredients, items, and if we fly out, we can duck back here and see. There we go. So we've got shears, we've got non-stackable items, then we've got all the filter items so that we're exactly charged. So as soon as one item's removed, then it'll set the whole system going. So all we got to do now is go back to those items and put one of each of everything in all of the chests. So I guess we've got deep slates, but we got tough and bones and glass and the work. So bit of work to do, and I guess I just gotta work at it. So it's gonna take a while, but it's gonna be wonderful to have this all running. And once we've got some items in there, I guess we'll do a test and hopefully everything will work. Okay, so should be all loaded up now, and we can grab each of the shulkers And I guess we're going to give it a bit of a trial by fire here, so let's just get ourselves organized and ready. Throwing them in. Helps if I get them into the actual hopper. We can hear stuff happening. There we go, stuff shooting up, shooting around. And none of it's actually coming through just yet because it's all deep slate. Okay, I jumped the gun a little bit because if we just peek over there, slight problem. So just gonna have a play around and work out why we've decided to take a rest, because we shouldn't. So let's see what the problem is. Okay, so I don't know what happened before, but it seems to be functioning on its own now and has for a little while, so I guess we got it. We're ready to... I pressed the wrong button, but looks like we're ready to move in, which is pretty sweet. So an actual automated storage system to make my life a lot easier. So I'm going to get packing, move out of my old base and properly into here. What do you think? Do we want to do a crafting area or a item input? Do we think I'm going to be inputting items on their own, or should I just stick with the shulker box loading over here? Let me know in the comments. Let me know what you think of my new storage area, and feel free to say hi, and I'll catch you guys next time. See ya.